Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of NFL Chatter with Landon. I'm your host, Landon Zielinski, and on today's episode, we will talk about the world of NFL free agency. There's been a few teams that have made some pretty big splashes thus far, mainly the New England Patriots, but also some other teams made some moves, such as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Philadelphia Eagles, as well as many others. In a little while, I'm going to have a good buddy of mine, Mike, who actually has a football radio show, discuss some of these moves as well. So you'll want to sit tight for that. So let's begin with the New England Patriots, who, as usual, were very busy during free agency this week. It all started the other day when they signed cornerback Stephon Gilmore, who has spent the last few seasons with the Buffalo Bills. Gilmore is a lockdown cornerback, and he will spend time opposite Malcolm Butler, which should make up an elite secondary for the New England Patriots. They then went out and traded for tight end Dwayne Allen from the Indianapolis Colts. Allen is 6'3", 250 pounds, and will provide a solid red zone threat opposite Rob Gronkowski for the Patriots offense. And finally, the biggest move, they traded for wide receiver Brandon Cooks from the New Orleans Saints. According to Mike Reese of ESPN.com, the Patriots will send their first-round selection and third-round selection from the 2017 draft for Cooks, who should slide right in next to Julian Edelman, Chris Hogan, and Malcolm Mitchell to form one of the most elite receiving corps in the NFL. Moving on to some other interesting moves, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers signed wide receiver Deshaun Jackson to play opposite Mike Evans, which should provide quarterback Jameis Winston with two solid deep threats, and that is his strong suit. Next, the Eagles signed Alshon Jeffrey, who spent the majority of his career with the Chicago Bears. Jeffrey is 6'4", 220 pounds, and will be a great weapon for Philadelphia next season. And finally, the last move I want to touch on is the Chicago Bears also released quarterback Jay Cutler after spending the last few seasons in Chicago. According to Steve Rosenblum of the Chicago Tribune, Cutler, who is the Bears' all-time leader in touchdowns and yards, is going to be released for quarterback Mike Glennon, who has been the backup for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the past few seasons. Just to further clarify some of the moves that were made in the NFL, I have my friend Mike on. Mike, how you doing tonight?
Pretty good, Landon. Thanks for inviting me on the show.
Anytime. So let me get your thoughts first. We'll start with Deshaun Jackson. What do you think of Tampa Bay signing him?
Well, something to note about Tampa Bay last season is that they were last in the league in plays above 50 yards, resulting in touchdowns. And when you look at a guy like Deshaun Jackson, such a burner in the open field, known for his long playability, Deshaun Jackson over the past 10 years has led the NFL in touchdowns over 50 yards. So I think that's directly compatible right there. Love the move from Tampa.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you, my friend, for coming on, and we will speak to you soon.
Thanks so much, Landon.
So that's all we have for today. I'd just like to thank my guest, Mike, for coming on with me. It was a real pleasure, and as well as you, the audience, for tuning in. On next week's show, we're going to take all these free agency moves and break them down and discuss how they make sense in the world of fantasy football, because we know the NFL would not be as popular without fantasy football. So we will see the best receivers, the best tight ends, the best quarterbacks, and break it all down next week. So until then, I'm your host, Landon, and we will catch you next week. Have a good night.